Hello students, welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. I am back again with some more concepts and some more problems. In this video, we will talk about blood groups in human beings. This is one of the topic that is a part of your syllabus. So let's get started. Now the blood groups in human beings, they are of 4 types. It could be A, it could be B, it could be AB, or it could be O. Now, whenever a person has a specific blood group, what does it actually means? Suppose this is certain RBC, and on its surface, if a person is carrying A blood group, then it means that on the surface of the RBCs, A antigen would be there. Okay, A antigen would be there. So with every blood group, we need to know what antigen is there on the surface. In the case of A blood group, the antigen would be A. In the case of B blood group, the antigen would be B. In the case of AB blood group, the antigen would be A and B both, whereas in the case of O blood group there will be no antigen. Right, now we will talk about antibody. Right, with every blood group there is one antigen and antibody. Antigen will be found on the surface of the RBC and antibody will be found in the plasma or the liquid in which RBC is there. Right, so antibody will be opposite of that of the antigen. So we have antigen as A, antibody will become B. In the case of B blood group, antigen is B, opposite of it would be A. In the case of antigen in AB blood group, we had both the antigens, so there will be no antibody. Whereas in the case of O blood group, because no antigen is being present, so both antibodies would be there in the case of O blood group with A and B antibodies. Right, now let's talk about whenever transfusion has to happen, means whenever a person undergoes some accident or some surgery and blood transfer is required. So that basically transfer of blood from one human to another is known as transfusion. At the time of transfusion, we should match one thing, that either of the donor the antigen should be same or the antigen should be absent. Let's see with an example. Suppose this A blood group has to give blood to someone. Now this A blood group person can give blood to the A group only, because A blood group has A antigen and the other person who wants to take the blood, that will also have A antigen in his or her blood. Right, or otherwise O blood group can also donate the blood. So A, suppose, right, if a person is having A blood group, then in the case of A blood group, a person can give blood to the person who has A because their antigens are matching. Otherwise, O blood group person can also donate the blood because O blood group does not have any antigen in its blood. So A can give blood to A can also give to O. B can give blood to B can also give to O because antigen is missing. Right, in the case of AB is a universal recipient. When I say universal recipient, means it can take the blood group from any blood group. That means AB would be the one that can have blood from A, that can also have blood from B, that can also have blood from O, because AB has both the antigens. So A also has the same antigen A, B also has the same antigen B, O is not carrying any antigen. So remember, AB is the one which is universal recipient, whereas O blood group is the one that can give blood to A, it can also give to B, it can also give to AB. So O is universal donor. This little amount of concept should always be there, because if they make tougher questions, then such type of question will also become like A blood group can have blood from which person, or B can have from which person, and this way, right? Now let's move on to the genotypes, right? Now if I talk in context of genetics, blood groups are actually the phenotypes, right? So it could be A, it could be B, it could be AB, or it could be O. Now what are the possible genotypes for all these blood groups? We will see to it. IA can be represented by IA. If we are writing like this, that means the individual is homozygous for blood group A. If we are writing like this, IAIO, then we would say that the individual is homozygous for blood group A. However, we can also represent A blood group by IAI. This is IA small I. Small I can be used for writing IO. Okay, so these are the possible genotypes if the person is carrying A blood group. Now let's see for B blood group. Similarly, B blood group containing human being can be homozygous if the genotype is IBIB, and if it is IBIO, it would be heterozygous. In case of AB, the only possible genotype is IAIB, whereas in the case of O blood group, the genotype is IOIO, or it could be small I. Remember, these genotypes are the expression of the alleles. So homozygous and heterozygous condition should definitely be known to you. Homozygous is taken when both the alleles are similar. Heterozygous is taken when both the alleles are dissimilar. Now the next question arises, which alleles out of these are dominant? So remember, A and B are the dominant alleles in the case of blood group, whereas O is the recessive allele in the case of blood group. This is very important to know. Now let's come on to one more concept. Now let's talk about AB blood group. AB blood group genotype is IAIB. Here the allele A and B, they are equally expressing. Means no one is dominant and no one is completely recessive. So when both the alleles, they completely express themselves, the condition is known as codominance. So they may ask you which blood group expresses the codominant condition or expresses the phenomenon of codominance. So answer is AB blood group, because the allele A and B are equally getting expressed. Now we will be taking some more numericals based upon the blood group concept that have higher probability to come in the exam. So stay connected to my channel. See you in next video. Thank you.